Okay, what is this grass-looking plant and why is it a plant that we struggle to keep in stock? Well, I'm going to tell you. Microsword, or Liliopsis brasiliensis, if you're fancy, is a small, easy-to-keep plant that you're going to want to put towards the front of your aquarium and use it to accent things like rocks and driftwood. Now, here's the thing. You look around online or at your local fish store, you're probably going to find microsword that looks like this. But if you buy it from us, it's going to look like this. Why? Well, it's simple. We buy this plant from the best source for microsword on the entire planet, which is Tropica. I don't know what it is about growing microswords in Denmark, but good Lord. I mean, look at the difference. There's a few things you need to know about this plant before buying them. And the first thing is, when you buy this glorious pot right here, you're actually getting a bunch of plants. I mean, look at it. It's even sending shoots out of the pot. Yeah, you can plant this entire clump in your tank just like it is, but what I would recommend doing is separating this into 6 to 8, maybe even 10 little plants, spread them out about a ½ inch apart from each other, and let them fill in. You're not planting this to be judged in some kind of aquascaping contest, are you? I mean, if you are, then all right, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're a normal person that's planting it just for fun, spread it out, let it fill in. That's one of the best parts about this hobby. Next is, I don't want you to plant this thing in your tank and think it's going to spread like wildfire and create a carpet all the way across the bottom of your aquarium. Will it do that? Well, it can in certain circumstances, but I'm willing to bet that most people watching this that are considering buying this are not set up for something like that. You're a normal person like me that doesn't have one of those super expensive high-end lights, and you're not running CO2 in your tank. So for us mere mortals, it's just not going to carpet like that. That doesn't mean it's not going to reproduce and fill in little gaps. It'll absolutely do that. I just don't want you to think it's one of those carpeting plants that are really common out there in the hobby, like Monte Carlo or dwarf hairgrass. Lastly, in the beginning, I said that this is a great plant to use to accent other plants, rocks, driftwood, things like that. There's another plant that fits that category perfectly, which is Anubias. But your strategy for planting this is going to be very different from Anubias. Anubias thrives in lower light situations. So you can literally put this on the bottom of a piece of driftwood. Like you could put Anubias in these little cracks here if the Oscar would get out of the way. This, not so much. You'll want to put this in an area that's going to get plenty of light. It doesn't need to be one of those fancy $400 aquascaping lights, but you'll just want to make sure it gets plenty of light. Don't bury it underneath bigger plants or arches or your SpongeBob pineapple. Again, take this plant, which is huge because it's from Tropica instead of the little thing like this, separate it into 6 to 8 individual little plants, separate them out by about a ½ inch and let it fill in. It's going to take some time, but it will do it. And it'll look like this again, just way bigger. You do not need CO2 to keep this, but if you are trying to achieve that carpeting effect or you want this to grow super fast, CO2 will certainly help with that. As for fertilizing, this is one that I would recommend some root tabs for, like the Tropica root tabs or the Seachem Flourish tabs, both of which are on our website. Once your tank is established, you have fish in there, nature is taking its course, then you can slow down with the fertilizers. You might see people on the internet labeling microsword as a difficult plant to keep. I think the reason why they're struggling is because they're not using Tropica microsword. How do I know that? I just have to look at them. This is not a plant that's reserved for only the advanced plant keepers. It requires a little TLC and some patience, but I think you'll find it to be a pretty easy one. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to get more information about this plant, I'll put a link to it right here as well as down in the pinned comment. And if you're watching this on the website, all you got to do is add this to your cart and check out. We'll ship it right out to you. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.